Hi everyone, this is Cindy Soto, your certified health educator from the Hippocrates Health Institute and the author of the guide, How to Get the Most Out of the Program. I'm joined here by my husband Pedro, who is one of the health educator instructors for the Institute. Today we're interviewing Dr. Brian Clement, the world's leading expert in raw food nutrition. As director of Hippocrates Health Institute for over 35 years, he has gained his vast knowledge from experience. Before we go to Dr. Clement, I want you to be aware of a great opportunity for you or a loved one to do the 3-week Life Change program with us as part of a group. In addition to saving hundreds of dollars, you get some other great benefits. For more details, please visit www.hippocratesgroupsavings.com. We have groups scheduled for the rest of this year. For the exact dates, visit www.hippocratesgroupsavings.com. Now let's get to the questions with Dr. Brian. Common, I think he's in Belgium, wants to know, what does someone suffering from severe idiopathic gastroparesis that's not related to diabetes need to do?
Well, we often use two methods in this. We use water that's first purified and then alkalized, so that the hydration is part of the problem with this. What has happened is that you've had a gastrointestinal breakdown of the system. So the hydration factor doesn't allow the organs to flow and operate and function in the rhythm that they should. Picture a drum head when a drumstick hits it. How the sound comes out is a vibration. If we don't have enough hydration in cells that become organs and systems, we don't have the vibration and usage factor of this area. So hydration is very important. First, purify water, because alkalizers do not purify water well enough, and then you put alkalizers on it, and that's number one. Number two, depending upon the case, and the case we figure out through medical tests and records that may be available, etc., then we target specific Chinese herbal medicine to it. As a matter of fact, about 30 minutes ago before this call, I went in and I prescribed to one of our guests that are here who have a very similar problem to you, Chinese medicine that I brought in from China, but actually discovered in Toronto, Canada. It's been extremely successful. Like 89% and 90% of the people we're giving this to are having brilliant, brilliant results with it. I'm going to be, by the way, in England as well as in Amsterdam in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So if you got on our website and looked at my schedule, I'm all over the world, in Europe over there. Be in Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, England. And so you may want to come by and see and ask some more questions.
And the website, by the way, is hippocratesinst.org. That's hippocratesinst.org. That's correct, right, Dr. Brian?
Correct.
Okay, great. Claudine wants to ask the following. I'm age 62 and have had CFS-ME for 26 years with very strong hot flashes for 12 years. Have only very recently started on raw food, juices, and wheatgrass, etc. Do you have any suggestions for helping to reduce or eliminate the hot flashes?
Well, first we'll look at the food factor. You've got to get non-fructose or low fructose root vegetables. Things from our generation, and we're similar in age, like turnips and rutabaga, and making juice from them, powerfully important. The stems of broccoli, asparagus. All of the elements in this are endocrine system, glandular system, activators, and motivators, as we say. Beyond that, we may also want to emphasize particular sprouts. The ones that would be greatest for this would be fennel sprouts. You know, the delicious vegetable? You get their seeds and you sprout them. Also, cabbage sprouts, broccoli sprouts. They're also anti-cancer because of the high sulforaphane in them. In addition to that, you may want to take raw aloe juice, about 2 to 4 ounces a day of that. But then, to be specific with you, in your geographic location, if you can find a very well-seasoned, a long-time experienced bioidentical doctor, bioidentical hormone doctor, I couldn't emphasize the importance of that enough. Because when you've had such problems for such a long time, it's definitely a major, major hormonal imbalance. And temporarily, if you took the proper forms of bioidentical or natural hormones and are monitored by somebody who's capable and competent with experience, you're going to be a different person within a short time. And the diet is going to help to maintain that, but in and of itself with such a chronic disease, I'd like to also use the bioidentical hormone methodology.
Thanks.
Just a quick follow-up to that. You have someone there at the Institute, right?
Yes. Dr. Navarro is an expert in bioidentical hormones. And frankly, let's be candid, I'm a sexist on this one. I'd always prefer, although there's not enough of them, a woman dealing with a woman on hormones. Even though we men who think we're bright understand it, we don't. You have the problems, you feel them, you understand them better than a male ever will.
Okay. Isaac says, Brian, I was wondering how you feel about someone doing a sprout juice feast for 30 to 90 days. He says he'd be drinking about 4 to 6 quarts of ocean-grown sprout juice, a quart of celery for the sodium, celery and cucumber, and 2-ounce shots of wheatgrass morning and night. So this is a 22-year-old, and he asks, is there anything I should be concerned about or considering adding to my program?
Well, not to pop the balloon here, but I'm going to. Number one, most people would be much better off consuming a good diet and 1 time a week fasting for at least a day. Because then at the end of the year you will have fasted 52 days. The body's rhythm and biochemistry as well as anatomy is going to understand that and work and function at a much better level than doing a starvation for several weeks or months. Number 2, there is a group of people out there, maybe some of you listening, maybe some that you know, that I would never tell to fast even for 1 day. People who have had anorexia, people who have eating disorders, people who are highly emaciated from diseases like HIV or AIDS or cancer, people who have either severe diabetic conditions or severe low blood sugar, hypoglycemic conditions. These are people, by the way, if you put them on this type of fast, it could actually kill them. And I mean that in a very severe way. I'm not talking about possibly, but in most cases, quite likely, if they made it through it without death, it would be good. Now let's go to the other end. We may have a very healthy 22-year-old person, because I have to admit to you, I've done 53-day fast, I've done 40-day fast in my youth, and put tens of thousands of people when I ran centers in Europe and here in North America on fast. And I'm a major believer in fasting, but I'm not a believer, and the longer I do this, in long fasting for the vast majority of people. Because remember, the body is still what it was for most of the time we've been on this planet. A body that was used to eating occasionally and not eating most of the time. So there is a messenger, a rhythm in the body that when we stop eating, the body starts to say, when you start eating again, eat a lot. Get the fat back on, because you may not eat a while again. And so I always see, my first education was in biochemistry, a real imbalance happened to everyone, even healthy people, after the initial long fast. Now that doesn't preclude the possibility that it's going to be okay and helpful for a lot of people, but boy, there's a lot of people, as I've just mentioned, that I would tell never to go near this, and I don't know enough about your case to tell you honestly if you should. Here at Hippocrates, when people ask that question, we have a slew of records and blood tests that we can make a sensible and intelligent decision based upon that.
Hi, this is Cindy one last time to remind you of a great opportunity for you or a loved one to do the 3-week Life Change program with us as part of a group. In addition to saving hundreds of dollars, you get some other great benefits. For more details, visit www.hippocratesgroupsavings.com. We have groups scheduled for the rest of this year. For the exact dates, visit www.hippocratesgroupsavings.com. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to talk to you soon.